When you have more money, it does not mean more happiness. And more money will never solve a money problem. More money makes you more of who you already are. So the first step, spend below your means. Live below your means. Live by the 10-10-30-50. The first 10% you tithe. The next 10% you save. The next 30% is cash in your pocket so you can avoid a spending addiction. A spending addiction is what you have when you go to the grocery store for toothpaste and walk out with $179.47 worth of stuff you don't need. Talking about it was on sale. That was not on sale for you, okay? It wasn't on sale for you. If it ain't free, it ain't on sale for you, all right? And the remaining 50% stays in your checking account for your bills. If you have more than enough money, do not go out and buy new cars, new houses, new everything, taking everybody everywhere. Pay off your debt. Because debt is the middleman between you and your wealth. When you're paying debt, you're paying interest, and interest is working for somebody else. How do you feel about that? You want your money working for somebody else, or do you want it working for you? Your money needs to work for you, so pay off your debt. If you don't have enough money, then you have to subtract anything that's in the way. There are too many people who have children in college and you can't afford it and you feel guilty. Let me tell you something. In my household, I love education. I have degrees and I've gone to some of the best schools in the world. So have my daughters. But in my household, school is free. If you get A's, you go to school for free. If you get C's, you go to the free school. Now, my oldest two daughters got A's. My youngest was a rebel. She said, well, Mom, what's the free school? The community college up the street. That's where you're going. She got those A's. And she got a scholarship because she knew what she wanted to do. So if it's the kid that's in school, if it's the private school tuition, if it's the house that's too expensive, if it's the car that's too expensive, whatever it is that is interrupting the mathematical equation that equals wealth, get rid of it. Okay? If it doesn't fit, get rid of it. It doesn't belong in your budget. So the first step is to spend less money, live below your means. The next step is to get rid of your debt, because your money can work harder for you than you can ever work for it. So if you have debt, then your money is working for somebody else and you simply want to eliminate it. How are you going to do that? You're going to go by the debt snowball method. That's what I believe. Some people say take the debt with the highest interest rate, pay it off first. I don't believe that. I believe that hardworking people were already struggling with trying to get some wins. Take the lowest debt, pay it off so you can get some wins. So take your extra money that was in your 50%, take all that extra money, throw it on that lowest debt. Once that lowest balance debt is paid off, now take all the money you were paying on that debt, pay it on the next lowest debt. When that debt is paid off, take all the money from that debt and keep going. The next step that you want to deal with is a home-based business. Everybody needs a home-based business. Everybody needs multiple streams of income, because one stream of income is hazardous to your wealth. Let me repeat, one stream of income is hazardous to your wealth. So not only do you need additional streams of income, one of those streams needs to be income from a home-based business, a sole proprietorship, or a single member LLC that operates like a sole proprietorship. Why? Because you get to report the income and the expenses on Schedule C of your 1040 tax return. And if you have a loss in your home-based business, or minimally, if you are able to write off things like your mobile phone, your car when you drive it, your business trips, and about 400 other tax deductions, it's going to decrease your adjusted gross income and put you in a position where you can pay less taxes legally, ethically, and morally. Now, everything I learned about taxes, I learned from Sandy Bakken. Sandy Bakken used to be an IRS attorney. He used to work for the IRS, training the IRS agents on how to go out and get people. He left the IRS decades ago, and now all he does is train self-employed people like you and I. I've been studying his work and his leadership and his coaching for over 12 years. And so everything that I tell you, I get it straight from the IRS. When you have a home-based business, IRS Publication 15, page 13 says you can hire your children to work in your home-based business. You can pay each child up to $12,400 a year. You can pay that child the money that's a tax write-off to you. And now the money that you pay the child can now buy their own things. They can buy their own school clothes, school supplies. They can pay their tuition, video games, Christmas presents, birthday presents, and anything else they want to buy with that money that you paid them. It's called income shifting. And the wealthy have been doing it forever. So when you see people like Warren Buffett and Mitt Romney and Jeff Bezos paying less taxes per dollar than people who make less than 1,000th of 1% that they make, it's because they understand the tax code and or they've hired people who understand the tax code. So when you have a home-based business, you have access to tax deductions. And my mentor, Sandy Bakken, says, if you don't have a home-based business, you're brain dead. You know, he jokes about it. I laugh about it, but I think it's kind of true. Okay, so we don't want to be brain dead. We want to have a home-based business. We want to start to put our gifts to work and put ourselves in a position where we can get our money back. So the first 3 stair steps fall into this category. 1, you must spend less money. 2, you must get more money. And 3, you must get your money back. You must do all 3 things if you want to build wealth. You see, lots of people have figured out how to spend less money. Even more people have figured out how to get more money. But if you don't learn how to get your money back, then you're paying too much in taxes. And the more money you make, the more the IRS will take. So getting your money back is essential to building and maintaining long-term wealth. Now let's talk about stair step number 4. Stair step number 4 is dealing with your retirement plan. And you want to start to plan for retirement now. You want to put as much money as you can into your employer provided 401k plan and take advantage of any matching dollars they provide. So you want to take advantage of any opportunity to put money away for retirement. And you want to start small and you want to be consistent. And over time, you will see that your funds will outperform the stock market and you will see an increase in value over time. The next thing that you want to do on the stair steps to wealth is you want to protect everything that you've built. You want proper life insurance. If you're self-employed, disability insurance. A lot of people think that disability insurance is only available if your employer provides it. But if you're self-employed and something happens to you, you're the breadwinner and everything will go down. So you don't want to be in a position where, let's say if you're a speaker, what happens if your voice no longer is operable? People get laryngitis, people get illnesses. There are all kinds of things that could impact your voice. There are things that could impact your ability to perform mechanic work, any kind of labor. If you are self-employed and you provide a service or you're responsible for preparing any kind of a product, you want disability insurance. The other thing you want to make sure you have is enough life insurance to protect your family or your loved ones or the causes that you care about in the event of your death. All death is premature and people do not die in chronological order. So don't just assume you're going to be here or that someone else will. Get the protection that you need. So even if you don't wake up tomorrow, your legacy can continue. And then finally, under this area of protection, make sure you have an estate plan, not just a will. A will can be contested. Children, husbands, wives, people can pop up out of the woodwork and stake a claim to your stuff after you're gone. And your heirs will have to deal with probate. In order to avoid probate, you need to have your single family residence put into an estate, and you need to ensure that your estate plan provides for all of the things that you would want to have protected and covered in the event that you were here to provide that protection and coverage. An estate plan is essentially a business plan for your money and your assets after you pass on. The next stair step that you want to deal with is owning where you live. Stair step number 6, owning where you live. If you can pay somebody else's mortgage, you can pay your own. If you're in a high cost state, then you want to assess whether buying real estate is the best option for you. And even if you are in a high cost state, consider purchasing a second home or even a primary residence someplace else. With many people working virtually now, you can live anywhere, okay? So if your job previously required that you go into a building, but no longer requires that you show up at an office to perform your tasks, then technically you can live anywhere. So you want to make a decision about the cost of living and where it's going to be most effective for you to own real estate, to own where you live, and even potentially own income property so that you can live in that property, rent out the other units, have the other tenants pay the mortgage, and you live rent-free. In addition to that, real estate is an important part of building a passive stream of income and a portfolio of assets that continue to create income for you over time.